What is going on, guys? It is Constable Chen coming back at you with another video. Today we're playing my Madden 17 franchise with Braxton Miller as our quarterback. This is part number 4 of this series, so we will be heading into year 10 to 13 in today's video. Braxton Miller is 31 years old, 97 overall, so he turned out very good at quarterback. Taking a look at Braxton Miller's legacy awards, he sits tops amongst all quarterbacks with 33,099 legacy score. He has 5 Super Bowl wins, 6 championships, and 25 yearly awards. So he sits on top of Hall of Famer Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, John Elway, Eli, Phillip Rivers, all these big names, and Braxton Miller is the best quarterback to ever play the game. 5 Super Bowl rings. He's got one more than Tom Brady. So let's take a look at Braxton Miller's career stats before we jump into year number 10. So he has 42,048 passing yards, 355 touchdowns, and 102 interceptions. So that's a very good touchdown to interception ratio, and his pass completion percentage is 70%, so that's very, very good. And rushing, he also rushed for 2,525 yards and 15 touchdowns. Obviously, he's a very mobile guy. He used to play wide receiver, so he's got a lot of speed. So I'm probably just going to sim the offseason. I probably won't even do free agency. I think I do still have a first-round pick, so I'll probably pick somebody. But we will pick it up with you guys in year number 10. This is what the team's looking like heading into year number 10 with Braxton Miller as our quarterback. He has a very good surrounding cast. O-line is very good. So, a lot of the same faces from my previous episodes. I did filter out some of the older players, primarily on the O-line, but I still have Conklin and Stanley, who are still pretty young. Defensively, it's looking real good. I think I got a couple 99 overall players. There's Nowak, I drafted a while ago. He's 25 and he's 99. He's unreal. Lutman's 95. It's the first 99 overall cornerback I've ever seen. Ivory Moore, I think I traded for him. Not sure who had him, but unreal player. He's 30 years old now, so he's getting kind of old. He'll probably go down from that 99 after this year. Kuechly and Shazier, probably 2 of my favorite linebackers. I'm going to be keeping till they retire. So this is what the team's looking like heading into year number 10. I'm going to start simming, and we'll pick it up with you guys in the playoffs. In the playoffs in year number 10, looks like our record was 15-1, so almost a perfect year in Houston. Braxton Miller, I'm sure he had another good year. So we'll take a look at some stats, then some awards, and then we will simulate our playoff game. So Braxton Miller, over 5,000 yards, 50 touchdowns, 13 interceptions. Very good year from the quarterback. Rushing, Le'Veon Bell, 1,590 yards, 13 touchdowns. Eldridge, my backup, had 754 and 15 touchdowns. Receiving, DeAndre Applewhite, 1,134 yards, 12 touchdowns. J.J. Casey, 1,176 yards and 8 touchdowns. And Brandon Cooks, 1,264 yards and 11 touchdowns. Defense, Luke Kuechly, 105 tackles led my team. Tackles for loss was Josh Potter with 7, and quarterback sacks was Nowak with 15, and interceptions was Kuechly with 6. So a good year by Kuechly. I'm probably going to keep him right to the end. So let's take a look at some yearly awards. Braxton Miller is your league MVP. Coach of the Year is Bill O'Brien. I think these two have won that awards for multiple years. Braxton Miller is Offensive Player of the Year in the AFC. Defensive Player was the guy from the Jags. Rookie, I don't think we really had a good one. Best quarterback, Braxton Miller. Best running back, Enzor from the Raiders. Best wide receiver, Brandon Cooks. Best O-line, Russell Mace from my team. Best D-line, Colton Nowak from the Texans. Best linebacker, Telvin Smith. Best defensive back, Desmond Trufant, who regressed a lot. I guess he's pretty old. He's only 83. And Swift from the Jets is the best kicker. So I'll spend some player XP, and then we'll jump into this divisional game in year number 10 against the 8-8 Baltimore Ravens. So I accidentally simmed our divisional game against the 8-8 Baltimore Ravens, but I'm sure you would have destroyed them anyway. So we played the 11-5 San Diego Chargers in the conference. They're 88 overall compared to this Houston team, which is rated 98 overall. I think that's the highest overall team I ever had in a league. And fourth quarter of action, looks like we're going to beat them by 10 points. 40-30 is your final. Moving on to another Super Bowl for Braxton Miller. So in this Super Bowl game, we play the 10-6 Dallas Cowboys, who are 89 overall. Their best player is 30-year-old Ezekiel Elliott, who's a 97, so very good player. I think I've played the Cowboys in the Super Bowl probably the most out of every team. They don't have Dak Prescott. I'm not sure who their quarterback is, but the Lone Star State has a new champion. Houston Texans 27-21 is their final, and we back where we belong. Another Super Bowl win. I believe that's 6 now for Braxton Miller as our quarterback. Super Bowl MVP Le'Veon Bell, 27 carries for 149 and 2 touchdowns. I'm probably going to keep him till he retires because he's a very good running back. So another year in the books. That's year number 10. We went 15-1, and that resulted in a Super Bowl win. So now let's do another year. Year number 11. I'll sim the offseason, and we'll pick it up in year 11. Quickly in player re-signing, Braxton Miller, contract's up. So he wants a 1-year deal. So that kind of worries me. So I'm not sure if he only has 1 year left in him. But I do have some cap space to use. So let's boost this up a bit. I want him for another 7 years. Hopefully he could play that much longer. That's a good offer. I'm glad we got the deal done. So Braxton Miller is coming back for hopefully at least half that 7 years, but we'll see. So we're going to do another year with Braxton Miller as our quarterback. He's 33, 10, well, I guess this is going to be his 11th year. So we're going to start simming away, and we'll pick it up in the playoffs again. Year number 11, we are in the wild card. We actually didn't make the divisional. It's actually kind of a surprise. We went 12-4, so that's pretty good. So we'll take a look at some stats. Looks like Jacksonville was able to make it to the divisional instead of us. So Braxton Miller, 4,662 yards, 41 touchdowns to 9 interceptions. I just have a funny feeling that he's just going to retire at the end of the year. I'm not sure. Le'Veon Bell, though, 1,421 yards, 17 touchdowns. Receiving, Brandon Cooks, 96 catches, 1,299 yards, 12 touchdowns. He was my only 1,000-yard receiver. Other than that, it's pretty balanced across the board. On the defensive side of the ball, Luke Kuechly, 121 tackles, led my team. Tackles for loss was Colton Nowak with 10, and quarterback sacks was Colton Nowak with 18. Very good player. And interceptions was Roto with 4, and Moore also had 4 at the cornerback spot. Taking a look at some awards, look like the Cowboys quarterback won MVP. I have a funny feeling they're probably going to be in the Super Bowl again. If we make it there, we'll probably be playing them. Braxton Miller was number 2 in the MVP voting, and Coach of the Year was Ron Rivera, and we were down the list at number 7. So let's take a look at some AFC. Offensive Player of the Year, Braxton Miller. Defensive Player, Colton Nowak, my defensive end. I don't think any of our rookies would be there. Best quarterback, Braxton Miller. Best running back, Enzo again from the Raiders, and Le'Veon Bell was number 2 again. Keenan Allen won Best Receiver. Best O-line was Russell Mace from the Texans. Best D-line was Colton Nowak from my team. Best linebacker was Bud Dupree from Pittsburgh Steelers. Best defensive back, Bankston from the New England Patriots. And best kicker is Chase Blackwell from the Colts. So I'm going to spend some player XP, and then we will sim our playoff games. In this wildcard game, we play against the 9-7 New England Patriots. They're only 81 overall. I looked at their team. Their best player is only 93 overall, so it should be a pretty easy game, and looks like we destroy them. I believe the score was 51-21. We destroy them. Moving on to the divisional round. In this divisional game, we play the 12-4 San Diego Chargers, who we played last year in the conference. I believe it was a very close game, and they're still that 88 overall team, so they're definitely a threat. Looks like it's a tie game in the fourth quarter, and looks like we might run the clock out, and we do. 31-24 is your final, and we're moving on to the conference yet again. In this conference championship game, we play the 12-4 Jacksonville Jaguars, who beat us out in our conference and got that first round bye. Their best player on their team is a 24-year-old, 96 overall tight end, so a very good young player, and they are 88 overall. Looks like it's going to be a very close game, but looks like we run out the clock. 28-20 is your final. Another Super Bowl for Braxton Miller. You could have a possible 7th Super Bowl ring, but we will see, and we will see you guys next week. So in the Super Bowl, kind of surprised we don't play the Dallas Cowboys, but we do play the 12-4 Carolina Panthers. Their best player on their team's a 27-year-old, 99 overall strong safety. Very, very good player. But other than that, their team overall is only an 81, and I think ours went down from last year, but it's still a 96 overall. So we're still a very good team, and looks like I get the ball back, run the clock out like I usually do, 24-19. These playoff games have been close scores. I'm not really blowing anyone out, but I'm still finding a way to win. So Braxton Miller, 7 Super Bowl rings, 3 more, and he could have one for each finger. So that's pretty cool. But I think I said this before. I got a funny feeling he only wanted a 1-year deal. I'm not sure if he will be coming back, but we'll find out next year if he retires or not. Super Bowl MVP usually is Le'Veon Bell. 31 carries, 143, and a touchdown or something like that. I didn't really see it. But another successful year so far this series, or this episode. We have 2 Super Bowl wins. We are going to do one more year, but we'll see if Miller wants to come back for another year or not. So that's going to do it for this year. I'm going to sim, and we will see you guys in year number 12. 2 of my top players that I had for a while retired. Running back, Le'Veon Bell, retired. Same with my middle linebacker, leader of my defense for multiple years, Luke Kuechly. Good for me, so I could keep on playing this series. Braxton Miller didn't retire, so he's coming back for year number 12, which is good for me. So I'm probably not going to trade for a running back. I probably will trade for a middle linebacker, but I want to take a look at those players' stats since they had very good careers here. So we'll go to NFL records, and I believe we could look at their stats. So rushing yards, Le'Veon Bell, in terms of yards, best ever, 20,509. He's ahead of Emmitt Smith. Ezekiel Elliott's kind of probably going to beat everyone there in a couple years, but we'll see. Rushing touchdowns, Le'Veon Bell, 196, so he's leading that by quite a bit. Ezekiel Elliott, though, he's a god. Receiving yards, I don't think we need to look at, there's not defensive tackles, but sacks, looks like Khalil Mack, J.J. Watt are there. Interceptions, I doubt Kuechly would be here. He did have a lot of picks, though, but they don't show tackles, but Kuechly was probably tops or close to the tops ever in the league, I would have to say. So we'll pick it up at a trade for a middle linebacker. I'm going to just search teams and see who's got a good one, and we'll pick it up there. So I found my middle linebacker for hopefully the future, Gabriel Goldson. He's a rookie, 79 overall. Unfortunately, only normal development, but still, I have a feeling he'll have a lot of tackles and progress pretty nicely. So that's the only trade I'm going to do. So I'm going to sim to the playoffs, and we will see you guys there. So at the end of year number 12, we play in the divisional. Last year was the wild card, but now we made the divisional 12-4, just like last year. We play the Jacksonville Jaguars. We played in the conference last year and came up with the win. So we'll take a look at some stats and some awards. Spend XP, jump into the playoff games. That's usually the usual routine. So Braxton Miller, back over 5,000 yards, 5,282 yards, 41 touchdowns, 18 interceptions. Another very good year from the ex-wide receiver. Michael Eldridge, his first year as a full-time starter, pretty good year, 1,290 yards and 17 rushing touchdowns. Receiving, Brandon Cook still has it, 110 receptions for 1,577 yards and 11 touchdowns. Applewhite had 988 and 7 touchdowns, and J.J. Casey, 1,167 yards and 6 touchdowns. Defensive side of the ball, my rookie Goldston, 153 tackles led my team. Tackles for loss was Josh Potter with 8, and quarterback sacks was Knowlton Nowak with 15. Interceptions was Ivory Moore with 4. So now let's take a look at some awards. Yearly awards, Braxton Miller is back on top of the league. MVP, good for him. Coach of the Year, Ron Rivera again from the Panthers. Probably going to be playing them in the Super Bowl again. Offensive Player of the Year in the AFC. Some quarterback from the Jags who we're going to be playing against shortly. Braxton Miller was number 2 on the list. Defensive player was the veteran Reggie Ragland out of Alabama. My rookie middle linebacker actually finished 2nd on the list. Good for him. Offensive rookie wouldn't have one. Defensive rookie was Gabriel Goldson, my middle linebacker I traded for from Oakland. Braxton Miller, best quarterback. Best wide receiver is McTyler from Jacksonville. Best wide receiver, Brandon Cooks, the veteran. Best O-line, Russell Mace. He won that award basically every year. Milton Nowak won that award again. Best defensive line. Best linebacker was Newkirk from the Jaguars. Best defensive back, Lawson from the Colts. Best kicker is the Browns kicker. So it looks like Jacksonville had a lot of players that won awards, so we play them in this divisional game. So it'd probably be a tough game, but I'm going to spend this player XP first, and then we will jump into that game against Jacksonville. In this divisional game, we play the 89 overall Jacksonville Jaguars. This is probably going to be my toughest opponent yet, probably the toughest game on our trip to our 7th or 8th Super Bowl. I'm kind of losing track at this point. They finished 10-5-1 on the regular season, and we finished 12-4. Looks like this is going to be a very, very close game. Looks like I get a touchdown. That should seal it. 42-39. So it was a field goal game. Very, very close game. Like I said, this is probably my toughest team to get through. But we got through them just barely, and we are moving on to the conference. So in this conference championship game, we play the 10-5-1 Indianapolis Colts, 83 overall team. I think we're 94 overall, so we're kind of slowly going down every year, but still we're definitely probably tops in the NFL as for talent on a team. Oh wow, this is an overtime game, and they get a touchdown. Can we answer? We do, and it's a tie? What's going on here? 31-31. What? Did they get a 2-point conversion? No way, we lost by 1. How does that work? Okay, something's weird here. No, we won. I was looking at the Colts, so 32-31 in your final. I'm not sure what happened there. I think they got a touchdown. I answered, and I must have went for a 2-point conversion. I'm not too sure, but that's awesome. We're moving on. So in this Super Bowl game, we play the 13-3 Dallas Cowboys. They're 88 overall. Still a very good team. I think we played them in 4 to 5 Super Bowls, and they are a very good team. Looks like this game's going to be coming down to the wire. Come on. They ran out the clock on us, and they beat us by 1. Last week we won by 1. This week we lost by 1. We were that close to 3 straight Super Bowls in this part 4 of the Braxton Miller quarterback series. But that's going to do it for this year. I'm not going to do my outro right now. I'm just going to sim to next year just to make sure Miller doesn't retire and we could keep on doing part number 5, because I don't want to jump on next time and find out that he retired once I sim the year. So I'm going to sim till next year. If he's still ready to play, then I'll do my outro. If not, then we will just go over his career and do an outro. So we will see you guys next year. So here we are in year number 13. This is where I will be picking up in part number 5 of the Braxton Miller quarterback experiment kind of thing. Looks like Brandon Cooks retired at the wide receiver position, so I only have really 2 good ones. So we might look at that at the start of the next video. But that's going to do it for this video, guys. 2 Super Bowls, and we lost in another Super Bowl. So still a very good year. Couple years with Braxton Miller. Let's take a look at his legacy, and then we will shut her down here. So let's look at quarterbacks. Nope, that's not it. Quarterbacks. Braxton Miller, 8 Super Bowl wins, 9 championships, and 35 yearly awards. So definitely he's the GOAT. There's no one even comes close. So that's going to do it for this episode, guys. Hope you enjoyed. Leave a like, comment, and subscribe. I will be doing after this, after Braxton Miller retires, probably Terrell Pryor and then Desmond, or Damon, or fucking that running back from Jacksonville, whatever his name is, Robinson. Do him at quarterback as well, because they both played quarterback in college. So look for that in the future, and we will see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.